Right. I don't know if I can talk my dad into it. He's really set on fishing our steel pots.
Okay, maybe we can find something else.
From the raging Bering Sea to struggles behind the scenes, Mandy Hansen's story is more than a fight against nature. At 18, she entered a harsh, male-dominated world where no training could prepare her for the realities ahead. Yet the sea wasn't her only battle. Beyond the dangers of crab fishing, she faced family secrets, painful losses, and the weight of an unexpected legacy. Mandy's journey is one of survival, both on deck and within herself, revealing the unseen cost of carrying a name bound by impossible expectations. Early struggles at sea. Mandy Hansen's entry into the world of commercial crab fishing was anything but easy. At the young age of 18, she stepped onto the deck of the Northwestern, a place where experience and resilience were earned through harsh conditions and long hours. From the start, she faced intense skepticism from male crew members who doubted whether she belonged there or if she had simply secured her position because of her last name. This environment was unforgiving, and Mandy's determination would be tested by both the brutality of the sea and the harsh judgments from those around her. The Bering Sea during winter is notorious for its danger, with freezing temperatures, massive waves, and blinding fog. Mandy's earliest days on the boat threw her into this nightmare almost immediately. While sorting crab pots, she endured 40-foot waves slamming the boat and even witnessed a nearby vessel nearly capsizing. Although she wasn't at fault, doubts surfaced among the crew about her readiness. Cameras captured her struggles vividly, revealing that this was no staged drama, but a real trial by fire for a teenager trying to prove she could survive where most seasoned fishermen failed. Behind the scenes, Mandy was no stranger to preparation. She had trained hard, enrolling in maritime programs at Washington State University and later attending the California Maritime Academy. She focused on navigation, vessel operations, and emergency responses, subjects that would prove essential in the unpredictable and often hazardous waters. Still, the practical realities of the sea awaited her, where even knowledge could not prevent moments of paralyzing fear and uncertainty. It was during one such moment alone in the wheelhouse of the Northwestern that Mandy froze, unable to respond immediately to an emergency, exposing the steep learning curve she faced. The sexism she faced was relentless. Male crew members subjected her to the worst jobs, including 12 hours of cleaning rotting fish guts until she vomited, scrubbing with harsh chemicals that burned her skin, and exclusion from vital safety meetings. They tested her physically and mentally, hoping to prove she didn't belong. Yet, Mandy pushed through this mistreatment, often outworking men during grueling crab marathons. Her resilience was apparent, but the pressure of carrying the Hansen name without the biological connection weighed heavily on her. Adding to the challenge was the fragile state of the crab fishing business itself. Mandy joined during an unpredictable time when the industry faced season shutdowns and economic uncertainty. When her father, Sig Hansen, suffered a serious injury in 2012, she was forced to step up unexpectedly with little experience, working for $200 a day to help keep the family business afloat. Her early commitment was born not of choice but necessity, setting the stage for a career defined by endurance under pressure. Despite the hardships, Mandy's hard work began to show results. She became one of the youngest women to hold a Coast Guard license for operating vessels up to 100 tons in the brutal conditions of the Bering Sea. Her first solo trip as captain, though fraught with difficulties like navigating over 3-foot thick ice that damaged the hull, proved that she could make tough decisions and bring the crew through. Still, moments of doubt lingered among the crew, fueled by her lineage and mistakes made under pressure. For all the tempests tossed in the ocean's wake, a far different kind of storm was gathering within Mandy's family and would soon reshape everything she thought she knew about loyalty and survival. Family secrets and public scandals. Behind the public spotlight of Deadliest catch, Mandy Hansen's family life held secrets that complicated her place in the fishing world. Most fans assumed Mandy was the biological daughter of Sig Hansen, the legendary captain. But in reality, she was adopted around age 6 when Sig married her mother, June. For years, the adoption was quietly held in the background, and Mandy was embraced publicly as part of the Hansen legacy, expected to carry on a powerful, nearly mythic tradition of crab fishing. The complexities deepened when considering Sig's biological daughter from a previous marriage, Melissa Ekstrom. Their relationship was distant and fraught. Melissa's name was rarely mentioned, and the family's public narrative focused almost entirely on Mandy and her sister Nena, also adopted. This division uncovered a delicate family dynamic under strain, yet nothing prepared them, or the viewers, for the explosive revelations that emerged in 2017. That year, Melissa, then 28, filed a lawsuit accusing Sig Hansen of sexual abuse dating back to when she was just 2 years old. The accusation stemmed from a bitter divorce in 1990, during which Sig was arrested but never charged, as prosecutors felt there was insufficient evidence despite concerning medical and welfare reports. One prosecutor wrote that available information suggested inappropriate behavior. Ultimately, Sig relinquished his parental rights to Melissa, a step he later described as the hardest decision of his life, tears marking his reflection. With these accusations coming to light, Sig responded with a robust online defense, rejecting the allegations and making his case known to the public. On the other side, Mandy was trapped in a dilemma. She was in the process of developing her career and gaining a good reputation. But the difficulties in the Hansen family's image were becoming more and more apparent. The public allegations particularly affected her emotionally, and thus, the difficulty of gaining respect on the boat seemed even harder. The year 2018 witnessed yet another shocking incident when Mandy's uncle, Edgar Hansen, pleaded guilty to charges related to assault with sexual motivation against a minor. Edgar had been an important character not only in the lives of the family, but also in the reality TV show. His departure after the 14th season altered the crew's dynamics and put additional pressure on Mandy, who now not only had to deal with her father's lawsuit, but also the discomfort of this new family scandal, which was breaking the already weak trust around her. The public fallout unequivocally indicated that the family's private problems were seeping into their business. The spirits of the crew were low, and the old hands on deck were quitting one by one, blaming the scandals for the creation of the toxic environment. Mandy was facing an impossible assignment of keeping things in order on a ship that was plagued by conflicts and uncertainties, along with dealing with the betrayals and fissures that were striking the very foundation of her family. The weight of these family secrets would soon collide with the physical and emotional battles Mandy faced, pushing her resilience to the breaking point. Physical and emotional battles. The unforgiving sea was only part of the harsh reality Mandy Hansen confronted throughout her career. Alongside waves and winds, she faced serious injuries and profound personal losses that challenged her strength far beyond the physical demands of crab fishing. In late 2018, a powerful wave rocked the Northwestern, slamming Mandy against a steel railing with such force that she blacked out and suffered a head injury. Bleeding and vomiting, she was rushed off the boat, with doctors warning that further impacts could cause permanent brain damage. Despite this warning, Mandy's responsibility on the boat never lessened. She returned to the demanding environment of the Bering Sea, enduring grueling 36-hour shifts in icy 20-degree weather conditions that caused severe frostbite. Her physical limits were pushed. She lost significant weight and experienced dehydration multiple times. Her father, Sig, admitted openly that he feared for her survival, highlighting just how brutal the conditions were even for seasoned fishermen. Adding to the physical challenges was a devastating emotional blow. In February 2019, during a storm-tossed season, Mandy quietly suffered the loss of an unborn child aboard the Northwestern. The pain was hidden beneath the public face she maintained on camera and on deck. It wasn't until later that she shared her grief by posting a photo of a baby onesie and booties on social media, expressing the profound heartbreak she carried long after the crew had faced down the elements. That season revealed a harsh truth about Mandy's resilience. She was not only battling the external dangers and demanding workload, but also the silent torment of personal loss. The pressure to maintain professionalism while grappling with such grief was immense, reflecting the double burden carried by many women in high-risk, male-dominated fields. Mental health struggles followed as the weight of family scandals and industry pressures compounded. Following the 2018 revelations about her father and uncle, Mandy isolated herself for over a week, communicating only through handwritten notes and losing significant weight. She described this as the loneliest period spent at sea, showing just how deeply the family turmoil had affected her mental state. Eventually, Mandy sought help through therapy, investing substantial time and money into her healing, a choice that was difficult to make in an environment where vulnerability was often mistaken for weakness. Her journey toward recovery was not linear, but showed growing strength and self-awareness. Returning to the wheelhouse with renewed focus and emotional resilience, she demonstrated leadership not only in her captaincy, but also in managing her own well-being. Even when the sea calms, the storms of family and personal struggle often rage just beneath the surface, shaping the course of those brave enough to face both. Leadership and breaking barriers. Mandy Hansen's ascent to leadership at Northwestern was marked by moments of triumph and intense pressure. In 2019, her father, Sig, handed her the reins as relief captain during a king crab run, a major milestone that acknowledged her skill and dedication. Yet, leadership quickly tested her in the roughest environments. A Category 3 storm battered the vessel with 70-mile-per-hour winds and towering 20-foot waves, pushing Mandy's navigation and decision-making to their limits. One small error in reading her position cost them 4 critical hours, underscoring how even a capable captain is vulnerable out at sea. Her family name brought not just opportunity, but scrutiny. Some crew members questioned whether Mandy earned her position or if nepotism had played a role. Doubts intensified when visibility plummeted in thick fog to less than 50 yards. Mandy insisted on continuing operations, fearing they would miss essential quotas. The near collision with another crab boat that followed ignited panic among the crew and led to her temporary removal as captain. This episode strained Mandy's relationship with her father, who later wondered if he had pressured her too soon into such responsibility. Mandy's resilience, in spite of challenges, was clearly visible. In the year 2020, when the hydraulic system of the Northwestern started to fail, she was reluctant to be patient and wait for outside assistance. Rather, she went down to the engine room and put in hard work for days, replacing not only the seals but also the complete pump units. The hands-on repair saved the ship almost $75,000 and very likely saved their crab catch worth $500,000 for the season. The crew members who had previously questioned her technical skill began to change their minds about her, and the lady they had been calling a mere mechanic was now seen as the captain, a leader who could both command and solve practical problems. The leadership during pandemic times brought nothing but hassle and more challenges. Mandy was running the Northwestern with only 8 crew members, a very limited number compared to the normal 12. And at the same time, she was applying very strict health measures, such as daily checks of temperatures and the wearing of masks. Despite these limitations, she managed to keep the efficiency of the work by making 3 trips. But the whole season went awry when a crew member came down with COVID-19 after going to a bar in the neighborhood. The following 2-week quarantine period led to the loss of $200,000 in revenue. Mandy has taken the blame for the overtrust that she placed upon the crew, which is a reflection of the increasing maturity in her leadership style. As the full-time captain, Mandy had to take on new challenges in 2021. One of the missions was where the Northwestern got stuck in between the shifting ice for 18 hours, with 15-foot-high walls and temperatures that went down to 25 degrees below zero. During this crisis, Mandy worked very closely with the Coast Guard, helicopter support, and an icebreaker, following very accurate GPS coordinates to lead the ship safely through the ice. The Coast Guard praised her for being calm and precise under extreme pressure, and thus further increased her reputation as a competent and composed leader in the world's most difficult maritime conditions. Mandy was likewise an innovator in a very conservative industry. She was the one who created a new bait loading technique in 2019 that resulted in a 15% increase in efficiency. The method was so effective that it managed to outrun the supplier's bad bait attraction of sharks, which resulted in the severance of crab pots and a chase of the boat for days. The unforeseen setback actually cost more than $50,000 and temporarily broke Mandy's confidence. However, with the help of his father, she was able to regain her strength, which not only pointed out the difficult path of trial, error, and perseverance, but also the struggle of a woman to change the situation in a male-dominated field. The relentless challenges of leadership could not be separated from the mounting crisis threatening the very foundation of the industry Mandy fought to lead. The collapsing crab industry. The Bering Sea crab industry faced an unprecedented collapse in 2024, when scientists reported a 90% decline in snow crab populations. Nearly 10 billion crabs vanished almost overnight. The culprit was borealization, warming oceans driving cold water species like snow crab beyond their survival zones. Forecasts warned that fewer than 8% of future years would offer suitable conditions for recovery, signaling a grim outlook for one of Alaska's cornerstone fisheries. The fallout was immediate. Seasons were canceled, and entire communities dependent on crab fishing were devastated. For the Hansen family, the crisis threatened the Northwestern's survival and decades of hard-earned legacy. Mandy Hansen unexpectedly became a leading voice for both her family and the broader fleet, representing fishers on the brink of extinction. Public hearings turned into emotional battlegrounds as desperate fishermen demanded reopenings while scientists urged conservation. Mandy found herself balancing empathy with realism, advocating for sustainability grounded in hard data. Using her family's meticulous logs and first-hand experience, she testified before regulators, underscoring that this was not just an environmental crisis, but a human one. Families' livelihoods were vanishing alongside the crabs. As her public role expanded, Mandy also championed gender equity in the industry. Though women made up 18% of Alaska's fishing workforce and less than 1% of captains nationwide, she used her platform to highlight the double burden faced by women balancing leadership and family. Having started at 18 in the harsh winter fisheries, Mandy's credibility made her advocacy authentic and impactful. Amid the ecological chaos, internal challenges mounted aboard the Northwestern. Mandy enforced new safety standards and stricter protocols, decisions that caused friction and even departures among crew members. Yet her leadership, defined by empathy and determination, kept the vessel steady through uncertainty. Meanwhile, her father Sig's declining health forced a generational shift. At 58, he began stepping back, leaving Mandy to shoulder both the family's legacy and the burden of an industry in crisis. With the crabs gone and the ocean changing faster than ever, Mandy's story became one not just of survival, but of transformation, fighting to preserve a way of life as the sea itself turned against her. The storms Mandy faced at sea and within her family prepared her, but nothing could fully prepare her for the immense responsibility of guiding her legacy and her community through an uncertain future. Legacy, motherhood, and resilience. Mandy Hansen's journey embodies perseverance, motherhood, and leadership on turbulent seas. In November 2021, she welcomed her daughter, Sailor Marie, a moment of healing after the heartbreak of losing a child. Yet joy quickly met challenge as Mandy learned to balance being both mother and captain of the famed Northwestern. When her husband, Clark, was sidelined by injury, Mandy juggled raising sailor while running the vessel remotely, guiding the crew through a record-breaking 2022 season via video calls. Every hour away carried emotional weight, underscoring the sacrifices behind success. In 2023, she returned to sea for a month, leaving sailor at home, a raw, public display of guilt, love, and exhaustion that revealed the vulnerable heart behind her unbreakable image. Despite these struggles, 2024 marked triumph. Under Mandy's command, the Northwestern thrived with new pot designs, sustainable practices with NOAA, and one of its best hauls in years. As her father Sig's health declined, Mandy took on full leadership of the Hansen legacy, navigating expectations from family, fans, and regulators alike. She embraced hard choices with steady resolve, reshaping crew culture to prioritize safety, respect, and accountability. Beyond the wheelhouse, Mandy became an outspoken advocate for women in fishing, highlighting the double burden of career and caregiving in a male-dominated field. Through resilience and empathy, she redefined what it means to lead at sea, proving that strength and vulnerability can coexist, and that her family's legacy is as much about courage as it is about love. Mandy Hansen's life reveals the unseen battles behind one of the toughest jobs on Earth. From family scandals and personal losses to breaking barriers and leading through crisis, her resilience shines through. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe for more stories that dive deep beneath the surface.